Hello, we're back. We're going to try this one more time. My God, I don't know how many times I've done this now, but the Portuguese sunshine is very, very hot and the iPhone doesn't like it so much. So it overheated my phone again, which is crazy. But we're back. I hope a few people can join there. And now I can actually see some comments as well. So we'll just wait for some people to join in. Because we want to have a conversation today. We want to join with some people who'd like to chat about some things, relationships, love, anything really. We'd just like to chat because we do this process together all the time. So we share, we talk about things, we really talk about everything. And as Elise mentioned in the first video, we literally spend 24 hours a day together. And to some couples that might sound like an absolute nightmare maybe, I don't know. But naturally it has just happened with us that we spend all our time together. We barely have any time apart. And I'm not saying that that's how everyone should do it. I feel like time on your own is really good. But it just seems to be this is the path that we have chosen and are choosing. So it's funny that like we do it and
we work together as well. So
we work together, we live together, all of it's together. So and I mean that takes some it takes work. It takes work to be able to do that and being able to spend all of that time together to be able to be always in a good place, and I say not always, but to be able to deal with the times whenever things are not going the way you expect or you want. You have to have tools to deal with that, and that's what we work on every day. So as I said, it's every day we work on what the things that we need to work on within ourselves firstly, and then as a reflection in a couple, we do that obviously together, and it's a fun journey. I think it's an intense journey. It's one that we decide, I feel like before we come to this life, this is something that we have decided. I knew when we first met, as I said in my video yesterday, like I felt like we've been together for a long time, for many times before this. This is not our first interaction. It may be our first conscious interaction here, but it's an interesting journey, but it's one that, like we talked about, reflection and mirrors. It's the most intense. I feel it's the one that the person that you're in a relationship with, like as in a husband-wife, wife-wife, husband-husband, that type of relationship is the most intense. It's the one you get instant feedback, and the things within yourself that are that maybe the things that you can't realize in yourself, you'll reflect them instantly from a partner, and you'll get to look at a very deep look at yourself right away when you come into one of these intense relationships. And you can be in a relationship and avoid all of those things as well, and that's where relationships can be difficult and can not create the powerful awakening. Because I feel like we come into this relationship with that. It's to awaken each other and be a reflection, be an instant reflection, be a feedback tool that's instant for each other to wake each other up. That's what I feel we're there for, along with all the other traditional types of ideas around relationships. So we've chosen this path. So we're happy we are. We enjoy the challenges. We enjoy the things that may be a bit more difficult or a challenge or whatever. So it's fun. So what do you feel about that, Liz?
I love it because I'm growing a lot, and with you, and it's amazing to have someone that it can be your partner, and you can share so many things or everything like we do and grow together and work together and help people as well with this. We have the workshop for couples as well. Activate couples, and we want to share this, and we have some exercises how to start to, because we know some relationship needs to work on that. So this is what we bring on our workshop for couples, is to bring this trust from each other. So on our workshop we teach these things, these exercises that we've been doing with us for couples, and they can at home work on their relationship. And I don't know if you want to talk more about this.
So the basis of the workshops that we do for couples is, it's really our relationship and all the things that we've done that have worked, and the things that we've learned from that didn't work. We create practices around that, and I think the first one is communication. So we always look at communication, because communication is so important, and communication is dwindling, and even now this communication we're having here is not. It's not a live it is a live interaction, but it's not face to face. So there's so much texting and WhatsApp and email and all of these things now, and relationships can be based on these communication lines, and that's not healthy. It's good that we have access to each other in more ways than we used to have, but at the same time we have less connection, because we don't sit around a dinner table and have our dinner and talk. And this is one of my things that I have to work on a lot. Having my phone beside me when I'm meeting, and Elise pulls me up on this quite often. And but that I'm sure it's the same for a lot of you, because these devices are addictive. They're designed that way, to take our attention, to take our consciousness into this little box, and we're losing the real connection that we used to have when we eat together. If you go to coffee shops, you can see it anywhere, any city in the world now. If they have Wi-Fi, you just go into a coffee shop and everyone's like this. And you see in restaurants, even, you go and you'll see couples and they're both with their heads down like this. So, and I'm saying I do this. We both, to some degree, definitely more so me, but we do that as well. But we see that is not healthy. It's not good for the relationship. So we work in ways that we can communicate more. So putting the phone away while we're eating, and putting all our focus being now with what we're doing, if that's eating or if that's just having a conversation, whatever it is. So that's improving the communication would be the basis of the workshop firstly. Then we move into trust and connection. So a lot of times there's, you may have a physical attraction to someone, you get together, but a lot of times they do, once that goes purely from the physical, you don't work on the other things that really create trust, and it can be physical and non-physical. So we work on trust exercises where we can really build the trust and connection between each other by with physical movements, with partner yoga, with really dance, with putting your full trust in your partner, that they've got your back, you've got their back, that type of thing. So we really work on that, and again, this is all from personal experience of what we do and what we work on every day, because it's a work in progress always. All of the things that we do and all the work we do, the best way to learn something is to teach it. And so we are constantly, we see ourselves as students every single day, and never get to the point where you think you've learned everything or you know everything, because that's dangerous. The people that do that, it's a dangerous thing, because when you think you've got nothing else to learn, you're stuck in a mindset, you're stuck in your beliefs, you're stuck in a paradigm that's going to only lead one way, and who knows if that's the right way or not. But constant self-inquiry and questioning beliefs, your own beliefs every day, and what you hold to be true today, maybe tomorrow you don't hold that to be true. So getting in touch with the real truth takes work, it takes dedication, it takes really questioning, really being able to question yourself. And then when you can come from a place of questioning yourself, questioning your beliefs, and knowing that what I believe to be true in this moment can change if it's not ultimate truth. And there are very, very few ultimate truths. They're all mostly they're momentary truths. There's many examples of that, but if you can come from a place where you're always expanding, always growing, always questioning, always open to feedback. This is another theme that we go through as well, because I do a lot of work on myself and I help a lot of other people, and it's very easy for me to see a lot of times where other people are having issues in their life, but when that comes to looking at myself, it can be more difficult. And that's why we have other people, is to show us the things within ourselves that we can't see clearly ourselves. And a lot of times for me, I can give feedback very, very well, and I know that it's on point and it works because the feedback I receive. But I receive feedback myself. Sometimes the ego, the masculine, the just the old habits and reactions can come in. So I always ask at least to give me feedback, tell me when I'm moving, in a way that is not beneficial for me, and at times she does that, and sometimes an old habit will come up where I react to that when she does that, and that's something I have to work on every day. And when we identify that, then every day it's my focus to just try one bit every day to just take that back. It doesn't happen overnight. Some things can, but if it's very ingrained and it's a habit we've had our whole lives, like that defending yourself, or I'm right, my way or no way, that's going to be very ingrained in us. We have to work on it. So every time I get that, if I feel the need to react, I get myself before it. When I fall off and I do react, I spot it straight away and then I work on it. And then from that moment on, again, I'm trying again. So it's with everything, you just one step at a time, move towards every day, just move towards one step up the ladder towards the things that you want. And it works, and as I said, it's not that all your issues fall away and life is just absolutely magical. It's you change in response to the world that stays the same. That's true sign of growth and mastery and enlightenment, is the world around you stays the same, but you change in response to it, and that's your growth. And that's what we endeavour and enjoy doing every day. So make your life easier and live heaven on earth. and that is that's what it is. It's like you can have that you do have that magical life when you're not always reacting and responding to things outside of yourself that used to make you feel unhappy or victimized, or that's when you can create heaven on earth. You can live the life of your dreams, and we're doing it every day, and we're working at it every day, and we're moving towards that every day. And so the journey is the whole point of it. It's not like we get to some place and then we just stop and everything's done. No, the journey is what we're here for. That growth, expansion, that dark and light, that judgment and non-judgment, and that's a big one. Judgment now, it's a big one of my themes, and I've been following it for a long time, and I'm sure most people can relate to this. Is a judgment of firstly ourselves. We judge ourselves. That's ultimately, there is no one else here anyway. It's only you're getting a reflection of yourself when you're hearing these words. You're only getting a reflection of yourself, and everyone will hear something or experience something slightly different when it's filtered through their beliefs and upbringing and whatever else. But the way in which you use that is what's important. And the judgment, firstly, is we judge ourselves. So we judge ourselves by society's societal codes or societal expectations. So we judge ourselves and then we judge other people. So when you find you're seeing things in the world or in your family or in your community, the things that you don't like, generally that is a judgment, or there's something within yourself that you're judging, and you're projecting that to another person and saying, oh, this person's doing this and that, and I can't believe they're doing that. Really what you're doing is judging yourself there ultimately, and it's a big thing for me as well that I work on every day. I every day drop away judgments of myself and others, and every day I say it. Hi Claire, how you doing? Welcome, thank you for joining. So we can see these comments instantly now because the sun is not shining in our eyes. I can feel, I think I got half sunburned there. The sun is very, very strong today. That's why the sun or the phone didn't survive. But yeah, judgment of ourselves and others is it's such a big one. And when we drop that as much as possible and make that effort every day, we start to, life gets so much easier. Life gets, when you're not constantly judging yourself or judging life or judging reality around others' behaviours, life gets so much easier. So I'm continuing on that non-judgmental journey. So again, if you're joining on here and you'd like to chat about anything, you'd like to ask us any questions about any subject, about relationships, love, life, anything, whatever it is, we're here to chat, because we're enjoying, as I say, we practice these things every day, we work on it, we have these conversations together in the car. I think the car seems to be our big one. Every time we're driving, we listen to audiobooks, we do that. But if you want to ask, just message, just write subject or question or anything you'd like to chat about there. Don't be shy. Or you can message me on Facebook if you like, if that's better. If you don't want to appear.
Or you can join the Activate couple.
Well,
and have fun
that's the next step. If you're in a couple, if you're in a relationship and you're on this path, and maybe you're having some challenges, which every relationship does. It's the nature of relationships. Yeah, we'll be offering Activate couple retreats. If you're interested in that, you can contact us and we can show you what program we do. And these are really life-changing, relationship-changing, paradigm-busting programs. So yeah, really, really powerful. We use all the things that we use in our other retreats, but everything's based around couples and working together and communicating and connecting and touch and everything
and
that
breath and we put everything that we practice and we work with as well. Yoga movements, dance and breath work, massage and everything. It's very fun.
And something that I've promised Elise that we have never done. She wants to dance with me, like learn to dance. I've always wanted to learn to dance, but we've never done that. So I think that's something that we need to do, like actually learning a specific like style of dance, like professional.
Yeah, we dance at home sometimes.
We do.
But I want to go to a class with Martin.
So we will do that, and doing things like that. That's obviously. Doing things together as a couple that are outside of the norm is really a positive, really good thing, because we can get in when we've been together for a long time. We've not been together a long time, but it's not felt like a long time, but it feels like we're connected for a long time. But you can get into habits where you just do the same things over and over again. You don't do anything different. It just gets comfortable, and comfortable is not the way to like fulfill an amazing relationship. You need to do things that get out of your comfort zone.
We did so many.
We absolutely did.
We went together to walk on the fire.
Yeah, we did fire walking recently. Yeah,
fire walking and what else?
Because these were challenges and
silence. Yeah.
Silence and fasting.
For a week.
Yeah.
Silence retreat, fasting. Yeah. This day we didn't talk to each other.
And this is not in the way the couples normally don't speak for a day. This was actually by choice.
It's
so
a very good exercise for you to take care of yourself.
Yeah. This is the important.
Not take care of your partner that day.
This is the important thing. So, like with any practice that we talk about, the first step is always you. So even you're married or you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, your number one priority should be you, always. I'm married to Elise, but my number one priority is me. And I know the same is for her. Yeah. And that's where we start from, and that's what creates it creates a balanced relationship. It creates, we don't have the need for the other person to create the happiness for us, or it's not something that the other person does that will make us happy. No, we make ourselves happy, and then we join together. And then we are even more fulfilled together. So too many times in relationship, it's one person looking after the other more, and one person is responsible for the other's happiness, and that's unsustainable. It might work for a short time, but it doesn't work long term because you're the only person responsible for your happiness. And this will go with other close relationships like parent-child. Even with children, you as a parent, obviously they're dependent on you up to a certain point, but their happiness, really, your openness to allow them to create their own happiness and be the master of their own creations and reality is what has to come from there, because this is what ends up if the parent is, or if the child is always dependent on the parent for their own happiness. This is what happens when people are 40, 50 and 60 years old and they still live with their parents and they don't detach and they become dependent on each other. And there may be reasons why that there's around that, and this is not a judgment, but there may be codependency things there that hold both back. So look at ways in which you can look after your happiness first, and then you will be able to look after, nurture and love your children and your partners in a much, much more beneficial way for you and for them. Because it's like you can't an empty cup, you can't like give something out of an empty cup. So if your cup is empty, your family's going to suffer, your relationships are going to suffer. You have to focus on you first. So that's a good thing that we talk in our retreats. We do 1 day of silence, where it's complete silence and it's the person only looks after themselves. Just complete focus on them. So that includes they don't talk to each other, they don't look at the other person. It's complete silence. We also fast, that's an optional thing, but that's because we just create an environment where there's no external and it's all just you. And that's a very powerful experience, and it's one that very, very few people, I'm sure, have had in the world, other than maybe people that's done silent retreats or these type of things. But we put this in, and it's very powerful. It's transformative, really. And I think you could talk about the day that you had silence, where you kind of the realization when you woke up that day, how much you thought about other people.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that?
I felt that day that I was always thinking about other people, even when we do our meditation. It's like a prayer, and I was always asking or blessing other people all the time. And that day I had like the whole day just for me, and I was concentrating on myself, meditating for myself, and saying to my body that everything I needed was in my body, everything I needed my body can produce, and I was feeling good, and I could have the whole day just for me. I didn't check the time that day, and I did, I don't know, maybe 2 hours yoga, and I was feeling amazed, just going inside of me and thinking about me and sending love just for me, to me. I had a bath, shower, where I put some herbs from around here and essential oils, and a massage my body. The massage was for me, not for other person. I massage myself and I meditate for myself. And any time that other people came to my mind, that I usually send love to them, take care of them. In my mind, I was saying, no, today is my day. Yeah. It's just for me. It was a gift just for myself, and I felt amazing. And then I could see how I think more about other people, how I take care more about other people, even if I'm not physically there, but I'm always thinking, sending love and imagining their lives are beautiful. And yeah, it was amazing. I think everyone should try. Even if you're not going to a retreat, you can do it at home. But read before about this, or get some tips with us or with people that are doing. Yeah. You have to meditate as well. It's not just decide I'm not going to eat or drink today, because you have to get your body or mind in a balance. How do you say?
Yeah.
You are in control of your thoughts as well. So you feel good with this exercise.
Yeah.
And if you come to our retreat, we give you all the support and tips, and you have to come and tell us how you feel. It's amazing. People that try it, they love it. And at the end of the retreat, we could see that they changed it. That it was another person, and we felt like it was our child, because when you see someone growing and expanding as well, and we are just guided to that, and we feel so amazing and blessed.
What good timing. There's Daniela just joined. Oi!
Oi!
How you doing? Daniela will be joining us next week, and she'll be going on this journey with us.
Yes,
Actually,
you're next.
she's going to be an activated breathwork practitioner. So she's going for the super intense 7-day training remembering, we call it, because for me,
I love
for
you
us,
too.
for us, the way we come from everything is that we're not teaching people things, and I feel about this is about everything, even books that you read, anything that you do. All teachers or gurus or anything like this that has influence in your life, what they do is just awaken what's already within inside of you, or allow you to see something that's already a potential within you. You're not necessarily learning something new, you're just awakening to something that's already in you. And that's what we do in this 7-day intensive that we will do with Daniela. It's called Training Remembering, and afterwards she'll be able to be she's going to be an activated breathwork practitioner, which is very exciting. So our global reach is going to be expanding. So we have Zach, who is in America, we have Ananda, who is in Germany, and now Daniela, who's originally from Brazil, but she'll be traveling the world. She'll be taking it to Australia, Thailand, some other places. So that's very, very exciting for us as well. But yeah, I would encourage just going back to the silence. Maybe you're not in a position to have a full day of silence. You could be, but I understand when you have like a family and a job and these other things. But creating a time where you can be silent for a certain amount of time, as long as you can do it.
Even if it's 1 hour.
Absolutely.
Just you.
So 1 hour where you don't have a TV, you don't have anyone else, go off into the forest, wherever it is, you don't speak, you don't look at your phone, you don't do anything else. All you do is get in touch with yourself, and you will be amazed what can happen in even an hour or 2 hours. And I think, again, I say this a lot, but I think this is more so needed to be directed to women, because women, because of the motherly nature, because of that nature of looking after others, which is a beautiful thing, it's an amazing thing, but women too much do look after others before they look after themselves. So I feel like women doing this silent practice on their own, for however length of time they can do it, make the time for yourself and really switch everything off. You don't look at anyone else, you don't listen to anyone or anything else, and just go off on your own, and you'll be amazed. It'll really get you in touch with your thoughts. If you've never done this before, you might be quite surprised when you don't have any other influence. You can see what's the self-talk, what's the dominant storyline in my head, and you'll be quite surprised, I would say. For a lot of people, you can see how much of your thoughts are directed to outside of yourself and others, and past and future, and how much of it is in the now. I really recommend it. As I say, even if it's not retreat, just getting silent and getting away from it all and doing just a walk in nature, something like that, can be so powerful. Nature is the best healer, in my opinion. It really is. Like, there's just no downsides to getting into nature. So I really love that we have the opportunities to do it, and recommend everyone does that as well. So if anyone is online there, they want to ask any questions, any comments, you can message me on Facebook, as I said, if you don't want your name mentioned or that. But we would like to start a dialogue and talk about relationships, talk about anything that you're going through in your life, because how you deal with relationships in this sort of format will be indicative, and it will show how you deal with relationship or just life in general, because life is all about duality. It's always relationship. It may be your relationship to your dog, it could be your relationship to your job, it might even be a direct human thing, but how everything in human interaction is relationship. So how we deal with those relationships and how we work with them will dictate how our life goes. And for many, many years I was very much a victim, and I would always blame the other person. And it took me a long, long time to work that out, but that's okay as well. It's all part of the journey. I had to experience lots of feeling like that everything was outside of me, and it was per me, and I'm the victim of this and the victim of that. But once you realise that everything is a reflection of you, then you take your power back. Then you know that everything you see is some form, and no matter how difficult that sounds, I know that's difficult to hear when you see horrible things in the world. I talked about it yesterday, or maybe the day before. It was the day before. How the darkest things in the world are a reflection in some form of your consciousness, of your reality, and it's something that we haven't dealt with. So, and that may be hard for some people to hear, and I understand that. And for me, it was a fairly recent realization that. So we talk about we are one, but we can say that and have an intellectual grasp of that, and I had that for a while, but having direct experience like I had through ayahuasca, which really showed me that I am really part of everything. I am everything, and all the negative things that I see in the world, from the darkest dark right up to the pure bliss, is me. It's all me. And that, yes, I got direct experience of that, and I very visceral feeling in my body of thousands of lifetimes of years of darkness and negativity and all the really horrible things you could think of. I could understand. I could become that, be of that. So Daniela says we are 110% responsible for what we have around us. Absolutely. Yes. It's so true. And the more people wake up to that reality, the quicker the world will change. Yeah. And people are waking up to that. This is very, very true. And it's easy to take responsibility for the things that are going good. Yeah. It's much more of a challenge to take responsibility when things are not going how we like, or we see things that we don't like. And once we can own those and take our power back really and say, yes, I have this potential for this negativity, for violence, for abuse, for whatever it is, whatever the one that most really ticks us or gets our blood boiling or whatever. Those are the things that we have to look at within us. And our daily practices are part of this, is doing this, and this is where judgments come in, so we judge other people. But it's all a journey, and we need to lighten up on ourselves as well. It shouldn't be serious, it should be a fun process, and know that even when these real dark things pop up, we have to be, first step to, Bashar always says the first step to enlightenment is to lighten up. So we have fun with it. Don't take life too seriously. And like the 4 agreements we re-listened to again recently, and it's like, don't take things personally. And it's so true. It's just so true. We get offended so easily. And I think in relationships, that's a big one. Because the person that can really push our buttons is the person you're in a relationship with. They do that the most.
And then if you're I say master this, it's so good, because I've been practicing, and Martin as well. And when I can feel balanced, even if something is sparks, I'd say sparks.
Yeah, like a trigger, something that triggers you, pushes your button.
And then I'm just saying to myself, oh, I'm feeling good, so whatever he's going through, he will see what he's going to do with that, because I'm happy and today my day is so beautiful, so I will continue on my balance.
And that's where it is. So
and vice versa as well.
Yeah.
It's a learning, and it's beautiful when you can do that and bring this to your life always, because you just feel happy and balanced. It's very good for your health.
It's true. It's really, really true. But if we always take things personally, because my husband shouldn't do this, or my wife shouldn't do that, or say that, or act in this way, those things are out of our control. And that's the big thing for us to get our head around, is that we can't control other people. We have zero control over other people. We have influence. We can show some things, but we have no control. So the saying is, keep calm, nothing is under control. So the sooner we realize that we can't control other people, all we can control is ourselves. And again, it's not control, it's just a guiding principle. We can guide our reality, co-create our reality in the way in which we want. And it's not, we can't create for someone else. We can have desires in a relationship, but we can't change. We'll never change another person. So if you're in a relationship and you feel like eventually I'm going to change this person to be the way I want them to be, that never will happen. Ever. That won't happen. It can't happen, because no one can change another person. Like if you look at these like wars and stuff like that, well, they're trying to change and control people by violence. And what do? They create more war, they create more violence. And it's the same in relationships. If you're in a relationship to change someone else, it's not going to happen.
It doesn't work.
It's not going to happen.
You have to understand each other and grow together and be open when you don't like something, and be open with everything and share everything.
Yeah.
Always, and come to a solution. And this is how I think it's working for us. And if you want to get the advice, try it.
But this is it. It's getting direct experience, and try these things for yourself, and realize that the only thing person can change is you can change yourself.
Yeah.
You can't change someone else. You can offer a vibration. You can offer like advice, these types of things. But what really the person changes themselves when they are ready, when they see and experience the things that create that change, and that's where change comes from. So if you are in a relationship and you want that other person to change, probably what's that thing that you want to change within them is something that you've still not dealt with in yourself. So whatever that may be, how you create that change is firstly by dialogue and communication and being really honest with each other. But whatever that is that you see in that other person that you want to change, you need to start looking at that within you and look at, how can I make that change? If that's something that I'm projecting in another person or in a relationship, how do it's something I need to deal with within me, and then start to change yourself, and then the outside world can potentially change, but that doesn't matter. If you're ever focused on is yourself, and I'm included in our married life. My focus is solely on me, and her focus is solely on her. This works because we're not dependent. Our happiness is not dependent on each other, but our happiness grows exponentially together, because we both individually grow. We both individually work on ourselves and work as a team and a partnership together, without expectations, without requirements. And again, it's always a work in progress. We always pick up things that we have to work with, and that's what it's about. And this is why this is the fast track. This is why this relationship is the fast track to awakening. I feel that. I feel like that's why we've drawn each other to each other, is to wake ourselves up quicker. And again, the fastest way to, this comes from Conversations with God, the new book 4. It says the fastest way to awaken is to cause another to be awakened. So it's flipping everything around and realizing you are already awake. You've just forgotten. And So you teach and allow others to awaken through your influence, through your advice, your life, your example. Then that's the quickest way for you to wake up and become who and what you really, really are. You like that one, don't you?
Yes.
So thank you for joining anyone
Thank you.
who's joining there. I'm just going to go into the video and see if anyone's any comments. So anyone on there that wants to comment or ask any questions, or if you think we're crazy, or if you don't agree with anything we say, I welcome those as well, because I know some of the topics that we cover and the things that I talk about in my videos are to some people controversial, and they might challenge some of your beliefs, they might challenge some of the things you've been taught all of your life, that you might challenge
we attract
things.
these beautiful people
Yeah, but this is
that are willing to change themselves.
For sure. And if something challenges your beliefs strongly, it's good to look at why. Why is that challenging so strong? What such deep held belief is that challenging? And everything, truth is truth. Most truth is relative truth. It's truth for you. Ultimate truth is the ultimate truth does not need evidence. Ultimate truth is truth. So if we look at an ultimate truth is you exist, I exist. I do not need proof to know that I exist, but these relative truths of who we think we are, what we think we are, what our beliefs say that we are, those we need to we need evidence, and we need to back them up by proof, and we need these reflections to say that is truth. But those are relative truths. So you need to find out what's truth, what's real truth for you, and you find that fastest by relationships, by bouncing off people like your husband, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, the close relationships. They are going to show you very, very quickly the reality, and again, it's filtered through your belief system, through your cultural, your upbringing, through societal influences. So that's a good point, that we both come from very different backgrounds. So I'm from Ireland, Elisa's from Brazil, and there are a lot of cultural, so let's say beliefs and cultural traits that for us in the relationship was quite a challenge for us to kind of understand each other's traits and cultural upbringing and these types of things. So do you want to talk about that? The understanding the Irish. There's one very famous, I think he's a psychologist, I can't remember what his name was, but he said, I can't remember who he was, but he said the Irish are oblivious to psychoanalysis. So he was a very famous, I can't remember his name, someone might remember, they can type, but a very famous psychologist said that Irish people were oblivious to psychoanalysis. So I don't know if that was a good thing or
what is oblivious.
So it means that how they use to analyse the mind, like methods that work for many people. He was a very famous psychoanalyst, or I'm not sure if I'm getting the term right, but he said Irish people, what would work on other people didn't work on Irish people, because their mind was, I think what he was saying, they're so hard-headed and their mind was very much not breakable. So if you want to talk about how you have got used to the psychologist was Mickey So my friend Dana O'Kane said the psychologist was Mickey Moore. I don't think that's who it was, but he was a very witty man, that Mickey Moore was. But so how, do you want to chat about how the Irish, how getting used to my sort of cultural things, and how have you found it? And you've spent some time in Ireland as well.
I found just beautiful people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone was so nice there, and yeah, I had an amazing time. Just the weather was very cold for me, but I went with Martin in September, I think, as well. The weather was very good. We've been to beautiful places, like movies. I love it. I love it. There was a place that I cried because I felt so don't know, so blessed to be there and could see that place and feel it. And about the people, I just met beautiful people. I cannot say like you.
but we've had lots of conversations about like Irish things that you don't really understand. That's what I'm more so talking about.
No,
like
I don't
cultural
understand
things.
like some jokes, but I think it's the same for you. Like jokes from Brazil, you wouldn't understand even if I translate. And because we are already in this spiritual life, I think for us it's easier to understand each other. Yeah, I don't know. This is how I feel.
There we go. My cousin Paul got it as Sigmund Freud, and he said the Irish are impervious to psychoanalysis. So he was a very famous guy back then, and he said the Irish were impervious, means they are just you can't do anything with them. So.
Maybe my mirror was good.
So you broke through.
My mirror was good, and what I attracted was beautiful people. And with you, everything like we go through, it was very good and easy. I don't know.
So at least find a way of breaking through what Sigmund Freud could not do.
Yeah.
But again, it's constant work, and it's letting go of. I know for me personally, like I could talk about Irish. We have a very patriotic badge of honour, the fighting Irish, and these things. So even that thing where I would come up with that saying, we would use that as a badge of honour. Or the big one we would use is we're hard drinkers, so we can drink more than anyone else. All of these things, this patriotism type thing. That's one that I have to let go a lot, because we have a lot of pride in these things, or we use these as a badge of honour that aren't necessarily really positive things. Maybe things that we're famous for, but is that the reality for every Irish person? No, but it is if we choose to make it our reality. So
it didn't affect me.
It didn't. That's good, because I was 3.5 years sober by the time not by the 2.5 years sober by the time we even met. So that was a very different person that Elise had met, and that's a good conversation, because I know alcohol changed me very, very much, and giving up alcohol changed me for the better. I think your dog also wants to join the video. Okay, sorry if the dogs are very loud.
The big one is not here today.
We're doing this inside, so a lot of times they do join in. But these cultural things, wherever you're from, everyone will have some degree of that. Where I am this nationality, so that means I am this, and this, and those things can be true. Again, it's a relative truth if you choose to be that. So I was the hard drinker for 20 years. I wouldn't change anything that I did, but I wouldn't say that it gave me a wholly positive experience all of the time. I did have like the predisposition of being born in Northern Ireland. I talked about this in a video before, that there's like kind of a mass consciousness thing. If you're born in these places with conflicts, that you're born, even if you don't get it directly from parents or these others, where there's different sides in a conflict, you automatically fall into some degree of those biases and traits. And if you never leave that place where they are, you can stay with that your whole life, and that's why places don't change and people don't change. And it was only blessing for me when I left Ireland and went to Australia and started meeting people from other cultures and other places, that I started to see outside of that bubble. And I can understand how people live in a culture or live within a society where that's constantly their experience. That culture and society is going to create a certain experience and a certain set of traits and biases that, until the person wakes up to those, they can just perpetuate themselves and stay. And if you don't take yourself out of those things, you can't see the reality that you are stuck within beliefs and traits and actions that are of society. They're not actually your own. You're thinking other people's thoughts all of the time. you're thinking thoughts in a language that necessarily isn't your own. A language is just some symbols and sounds that someone created one time, and you learn these and you create communication in a language that you haven't created. You've just agreed with symbols. This comes from the 4 agreements and the 5th agreement, where these symbols they're not of your creation, and they may mean, one word could mean 10 different things to 10 different people, but we assume that the other people understand our meaning, and we have a general agreement on what they mean, but actually they might mean different things to different people. So we really have to be aware of those things and take ourselves out of our comfort zone, take ourselves out of, if we've lived in a certain type of community, or if we've always hung around with a certain type of people or class of people or group of people or religion or whatever it is. Take yourself out of that for some time, and then your eyes will just open and you'll be amazed when you see from another point of view. And that place was Carrick-a-Reid Rope Bridge, where Elise cried in Ireland because it was so beautiful. That's amazing. So if anyone's back at home and they haven't went there, that was actually my first time going there too. It's
so
fun.
beautiful.
That's the funny thing as well. You don't see the flip side of like being in the one place. When you're in in Ireland, I didn't see half of the amazing places, beautiful things that we have on our doorstep in Ireland, because whenever you live there, you take these things for granted. And then you go travelling and you find out people from other countries have seen more of your country than you've seen. And it's weird because you don't appreciate what's actually on your doorstep. So if you live in Ireland, which many people probably joining here do, get out and see all those amazing places that you have. And wherever, it doesn't matter, any country, wherever you are, there's beautiful places everywhere. We always think the grass is greener on the other side. And that's not necessarily true. I think that comes from just a place of not being happy within ourselves to always reach for something. But there's amazing natural places in everywhere. Even we lived in Dubai, and that's probably one of the least natural places on earth, I would say. And we getting out into the desert was just amazing experience we did with Daniela, who's on there, and our friends Renato and Anna. We did one time, went out to the desert, so it was complete nothing, sand. We pitched our tents, had some food, but the experience was amazing. And you think, oh, what, I'm just going to the desert, there's nothing there, but that was powerful, huh?
Yes. Amazing.
Can we talk about that experience?
I would like to talk about this another time.
Okay. You can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
It was beautiful, but I want to talk about this another video.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think that's my cue. My powers of perception are telling me that my wife is saying that this video has gone on.
We're going to
longer.
other places now, and this is about the relationship. It was about the relationship as well. But we will talk more in other videos. Mysterious meditations.
So you've had enough when you're telling me you want to
Yes.
say goodbye. Okay. So if you want to connect with us and you want to know more about what we're talking about today, Activate Couples, the retreats that we do, that we'll do here in Portugal, we may do in some other countries as well. You can contact me, message me on here. Go to activatebreathwork.com/lifestyle for lots of amazing daily tips on how you can activate your life now. Lots of free videos that you can watch to expand your consciousness, do things that are outside of the norm. Another thing that I've updated on the website yesterday is if you go to activatebreathwork.com/Martin, I've got a lot of the live videos that I've done over the last while, which have tackled a lot of subjects. So you can watch them all together there. I know they're quite long, but it's easier to find them than on my Facebook page, which they're all mixed in with all the other things that I've posted. Again, if you want to join for our Activate Breathwork practitioner training, that will be on the 28th of this month. That's 7-day intensive training, absolutely life-changing, transformative. Fiona says, congratulations you two on your marriage. Much love, Fiona. Thank you very much, Fiona.
Thank
Much
you.
love to you as well. Fiona, we met in India last year on our yoga teacher training. She is a lovely Scottish lady. I think she might be on holidays now. I think something on Facebook told me you might be on holiday, so hope you're well. Daniela says thank you for sharing your time with us. Kisses and hugs. Thank you, Daniela. We will see you too soon. And yeah, if you want to join us on the 28th, as I say, and become really join this life transformative course. It really, really is powerful. Fiona says yes, she's in Bali. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Amazing. Enjoy.
It's amazing. Enjoy.
So yeah, our 7-day activator, level 1 activator training, learning, remembering training. It's, as I said, it's awakening what's already within you. We will be beginning that on the 28th. So there's, I think there's probably one space for that. We're doing that in very small groups because we want that to be a very intimate, a very hands-on, one-on-one, more so experience for everyone. But if you want to join and become part of our Activate family, our family is growing, we're very happy about that, and that will allow you to facilitate Activate Breathwork, which has changed many people's lives around the world, where we've done this all around the world. You can train and learn how to do that, but more so it's life skills, it's changing your own life, and that's the focus of this, is changing yourself so that you can change other people's lives by your influence and just by your being. So that's very exciting. We're very happy to do that. Contact me if you want more details on that. Other than that, I think we can sign off, because I know my wife is ready to go. I could just talk here for hours and hours, but I think it's good that we cut it a bit short, because these videos are quite long at times. So wherever you are in the world, have an amazing day. Contact me about anything, or now, that's the other last point, that Elise yesterday or the day before actually opened her Facebook page. For so long she's been in she hasn't had one, so she finally caved in and decided to open a page. So anyone else that'd like to contact Elise, you can contact her on Elis Angela Paez if you'd prefer to talk to Elise, the feminine aspect. You can obviously connect with her there. And yeah, have an amazing day. If you feel like this video has helped you, if it's been beneficial, if you think that some people would benefit from hearing the message that we give, please share these videos. I haven't actually asked people to do that up until now, but I think it's a good idea to please, if you're joined now, please share our videos, because we want to get this message to as many people as possible, and we really appreciate your help in sharing this message with the people who need it, because this is what we're here for: growth and expansion and love, and helping people to experience the things that are working for us in our life, and just sharing that joy and peace with everyone. So please hit share on the video, send it to anyone you think that would need to hear, and contact us if you need anything else. So until then, the next time, I will say goodbye from me.
Goodbye. Thank you very much, everyone that is watching. Send messages.
Yes.
Yeah. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Namaste. And
Namaste.
goodbye.